Self-consciousness kicks your ass. So, the answer to the question is this. I figured I would take a moment to explain a little bit why maybe I look like this. And I don't even know why or if it'll make sense what I tell you. But if you have a moment and you've read all of the above information, then you have arrived at the right place for the answers you seek. Quite simply, I always wanted tattoos.
I wanted to be the guy who walked in the room. Everybody turned and said, "What the?"
Maybe it was lack of attention as a child.
Maybe I was dropped on my head. Maybe I'm a medical experiment gone wrong. I don't know. Doesn't really matter, 'cause this is what I am. Peace.
I always wanted tattoos since I can remember being 17 or 18 years old, but never sure as to what I wanted. I recall later in life, at 23 and 24, when I moved to New York City, as my vision was being aroused and expanded by the life I was living in a great city of amazing energy, that there was something major I wanted to put on myself, which I put off for many years until I was 30 years old, and that was to start these forearms. And when I started my forearms, there were to be just a 1-inch cuff around each forearm. But as soon as they started, it spread. I felt they just had to grow and get bigger. And when I looked in the mirror at them, I thought, oh my God, that's like a superhero. That's so cool. So I said, let's take it to the elbow. And those were my first 2 tattoos. As those were being done, I started having visions of what was on my neck, or what was to be on my neck. I saw many different shapes and things, but something was drawn here. So very soon after the forearms, I started the neck. And then as I started the neck, I started having visions of stuff on my chest. I started my chest. When I started my chest, I started visions of my groin. When I did my groin, I had visions of my ankles and shins. When I did those, I endeavored to break the barrier, because up till then, I wore a shirt and tie to work, see? And these cuffs on shirts would just cover the ends of the tattoo. So therefore, all of my body was getting covered for 6 years, and no one knew on the outside at work until I did my fingers. That was the test to see if I could handle exposure. I did. Wasn't easy. Very struggling moments of being self-conscious, of now being exposed by just that one little piece. Now, you got to imagine me way before having all this tattoo in my face, and I know that's hard to do because this is so imposing. But there's photographs out there, and I don't even have many of them myself because this is just who I am. But to finish, after my fingers, I dreamt a line here on my chin, on this very gray face I have today. And I started that stripe. And it grew larger and larger over months' time, and then I had a dream of a Native American warrior on a hill with a black mohawk, striped. And I was that Native American in that dream. I had it so clearly, so surely that it was me. I was seeing myself. So what did I do shortly after that? I started this black mohawk tattoo on my head. It was like a black stripe, went all the way down to a point in the front. But I wasn't settled with that, see, because I have a very round face. And you have a black stripe that ends in an arrow on your head. You kind of look like you got a skid mark going down your head, you know. Although no one ever thought it looked like that, but I'm making fun of myself. But not being settled with that, I returned to my artist. And then for a year and a half, we added every couple of weeks, about 1 inch at a time. Little by 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 little. When I got to my eyebrows, they were still there. And I looked at them, and it was just above the eyebrows. And I looked at them one day. I looked in the mirror, and I go, what are these for? And I got my razor blade, and I shaved each one of them off. And I went down that night, and I tattooed down below where they were. Now I know what eyebrows are for. They're to keep the sweat out of your eyeballs. And nature has its purpose. And excuse the age showing here. I feel like I look much older than I feel, with all that gray hair starting to pop through. As an actor, I think my range is good, because my face is pretty good in certain light. And if I shave, I could probably go for 30, early 30s. But if I let this grow in, I could be 50 easy. That's the brilliance of being 41. There's a maturity and realization of what is more sensible. So, bring it on, baby. Let's be sensible. Peace.